guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you have all had a wonderful day. Today's video is my June reading wrap up. I think I did pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. So this month I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I read 10 books this month. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself because normally it doesn't get past the 6 mark. But I am pretty impressed with myself. So I'm gonna start off with the ones that I didn't read that were on my set out TBR. And I have two. So the first one is A Little Village School Novel by Gervais Finn, A Lesson in Love. Now this one was on my Books to Self-Destruct, and I hung on to it because I liked the sound of the story on the back. And when I came to sit down and give this a read, I realised it's actually part of a series, and it isn't the first one. This one is like the third or fourth, I believe. Yeah, so it's not even the first book in the series, and I thought I'm not interested enough to want to pick up the other books, so this one makes more sense. So I just DNF'd it without even starting it. And I'm okay with that. It was on my Books to Self-Destruct. I gave it a chance. It was becoming more complicated for me to read because it was part of a series, so it's just gonna go. And yeah, like I said, I'm really okay with that. I don't mind it leaving. So there's that one. Then next up is Miranda Hearts, Peggy and Me. Now I love Miranda with my whole being. I think she is hilarious. I love her. But I just really couldn't get into this book. I found it quite difficult to kind of immerse myself in the story. And while it's about our fluffy friends, which I do love, I got about 100 pages in and I realised I just wasn't loving it. So I did DNF this one as well. But yeah, I mean, you might really enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. So that one is going also. Right, let's move on to the ones I actually read. So I have the Narnia Box Set. Now, I had already read The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and me and Nikki decided to buddy read the rest of them. I think Nikki had all of them to read, whereas I only had the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I only had the last 5, which is The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. The Horse and His Boy I quite liked. I think I gave them all 3 stars. Yeah, I gave all of them 3 stars. I liked The Horse and His Boy. I thought it set a good scene, but I also didn't feel like it had too much to do with the main story. Prince Caspian and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader was very similar to the film, and I love the films, absolutely adore the films. So I didn't mind those. The Silver Chair, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. It was okay, yeah, it was okay. And then The Last Battle, I was okay with until the ending. And then I was like, okay. So yeah, they only got 3 stars from me. If you have read the books, you probably know what I'm talking about when it comes to the ending. Wasn't a fan. Almost ruined the series for me. And there's aspects to that ending that I also really didn't like. I'm not going to go into too much detail on it because if you haven't read them, I recommend you do, because I feel like everyone should. Will I read them again? No. It is a gorgeous set. It really is. It's an old-fashioned sort of hardback set. I picked this up at a book swappy kind of thing, or like a book tent thing, I can't remember. And I did love them, and I love the box, but I just know that they're not going to be something I will reread. I love the films. I will continue to watch the films. They are my feel-good kind of movies, but I won't read the books again. And I'm okay with that. But I recommend everyone gives them a read. I would listen to them via audiobook if you can, because I found that to be the easiest way to consume them. But ultimately, you do you. I mean, you might really love them. I just was not a fan of the ending. So there is that. Next up, I read This Is Me by Mrs. Hinch. I gave this 3 stars. I was really interested to find out about Sophie and kind of her thoughts and feelings as to where she is now, and kind of her life before being Mrs. Hinch, and her trying to maintain parts of that life while still being Mrs. Hinch, and how difficult that has been. And I did like it. I found it very interesting. I liked hearing about how she met Jamie. I thought those bits were really lovely. The bits about people trolling her on the internet, I hated. And I get that it's being very truthful about what her life is like, but it really upset me to think there are people out there that can just be so horrible. So yeah, I liked it, but I didn't like it for those aspects that she's having to go through. Yeah, I thought it was a good book. I probably wouldn't read it again because I'm a bit wishy-washy when it comes to real life things. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it. It's nice to know a little bit more about her. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. So that's that one. Then next up, I have Serena Valentino's Mistress of All Evil, A Tale of the Dark Fairy. So this is one of the Disney Villain series. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't really like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it, which is why I only got 3 and it didn't go down to a 2. I liked the story, and I liked the kind of reveal of why she became the way she did. I enjoyed that. But what I struggled to get round with these ones is the Odd Sisters. I don't get where they come into in terms of the Disney-verse. I don't know whether it's Serena Valentino's kind of creation to link up parts of like Disney stories. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have the Odd Sisters book on my shelf up here to read, so maybe it'll make a bit more sense after that. But I didn't love this one as much as I loved Cruella de Vil the month before, which was, what was that one called? Evil Thing. I loved that one. I loved the reasoning behind Cruella becoming the way she did. This one was kind of like, okay, I can kind of get on board with it. Yeah, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either, which is why it's only a 3 star and not any lower or any higher. Would I read it again? Maybe. I don't know. I loved the new Maleficent film with Angelina Jolie. I think they're fabulous and I would watch them all the time. But I don't think I've seen the original Sleeping Beauty Disney version for an incredibly long time, so maybe that's why I have a bit of a different judgment on this book. I'm not sure. Maybe it will have to be something I rewatch at some point to kind of re-gauge my feelings on that. But yeah, there's that one. Then next up we have Paige Toon, 5 Years From Now. I love myself a bit of Paige Toon. She's my fave. I'm currently working through collecting the rest of her books. I believe I only have 4 left to collect. But yeah, I really like this one. It follows Nell and Van, and they are kind of siblings but not, so their parents fall in love and get together, and obviously they're not related but they are stepbrother and sister, and over the course of their lives, every 5 years they come back into each other's lives, and it's kind of about how they deal with loving each other but feeling like it's not quite right but it is right because it's not wrong, and kind of coming to terms with that. I laughed, I cried. Did it end how I wanted it to? No. But did the ending make perfect sense in an ideal world? And the reasoning behind the characters doing what they did made it really heartwarming? Yes. It was a fabulous book. I gave it 4 stars. It would have got 5 had it ended how I wanted it to. I wanted it to be that lovey-dovey, happy ever after. And in a way it was, but not the way I envisaged it to be. Will I read it again? 100%. Look at those pink sprayed edges. Yeah, I love Paige Toon. I think she's fabulous. I have a little set of her books here that I really want to get to very soon, but I loved this book, and I highly recommend you reading it. I think it's very good. I wonder if any of you have read it, whether you felt the same about the ending that I did. But yeah, I liked it. It was a good one. Then next up we have The Tree of Death by Brian Eastman. This is the third and final book in the Rosemary and Thyme mystery series. I gave this one 4 stars as well, I believe. Yes, I did. So this one follows Laura Thyme and Rosemary Boxer, and they are gardeners who go to help redesign a churchyard at the time of a medieval fair. A rogue, no, not rogue, is it rogue? The black sheep of the village comes back, he gets killed, and it's kind of about them delving into who done it. And I love these. I think they're fabulous. I wish there were more than just the 3 books, but I understand that obviously these were written and then created into the TV series, which I also love, and have nearly finished season 3, which is the final season. It makes me feel sad. But I loved it. I would reread it. I think they're fabulous. And I knew who done it because I've seen the episode about a million times, but it was still just as good seeing that unveil. And I was like, oh, like I knew it was him, but it was like, oh yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. I really liked it. So that's that. And then the final book I read, oh no, we've got a avalanche. The final book I read was actually on my May TBR. And I didn't get to it, and that was R.J. Anderson's Knife, No Ordinary Fairy Tale. So this book I rolled into my June TBR because I really wanted to read it, and it follows a fairy called Knife who is trying to save the oak, which is where all the other fairies live, from a disease called the Silence, and trying to figure out how that disease comes about, whether it has something to do with humans, and she befriends a boy in the human world, and then as time passes he obviously gets older and he comes back to the house near the oak, and it's about their relationship and her struggling with knowing that she shouldn't be talking to a human but she is, and the go-between. And I thought I would like it, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. So I gave this one 4 stars as well. I didn't give any 5 stars this month. There wasn't one that I really thought, wow, I loved it, but I did really enjoy it. So yeah, it was really good. I wanted to pick up the second book straight away, but I had already picked my books for July, so the second book isn't on my TBR for July. I'm hoping to be able to fit it in if I can. But I really enjoyed it. I think it's middle grade, I believe. There were some kind of storylines in here that I found a little bit like, ooh, I'm not sure. Well, actually there was just one part where I was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure how that would appear to younger readers. But I really liked it. I thought it was fabulous, and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. It's only a trilogy. Yeah. I really liked it. So yeah, I gave that one 4 stars as well. So I had 3 4-star books and the rest were all 3 stars, but 10 books this month, which is fabulous because I haven't done a 10 book month in a long time. But I am slowly working my way through this bookshelf. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well in my reading so far. I don't know if I'm necessarily on target for my 100 books for this year. I'm hoping that I will be able to pick up a few more, but we shall see. If you read any of the books that I have mentioned, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But yeah, that's everything for me. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.